Sleep has been a constant struggle for me, but I finally have found a solution that works. Stick around, I have just the thing that can help you as well. Beam's Dream Powder. Big news over the weekend. Donald Trump held a political rally in Coachella, California, in Riverside County. And it's one of those moments where I wish I had like a breaking news theme, dun, 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 or, like Fox News does with their breaking news alert, Fox News alert. This one involves a third attempted assassination attempt. So cue the breaking news music. You can have to laugh at your own jokes when no one else is. Listen, there's two theories of what's going on here. I'm going to go with what the most likely, which is just this isn't what it is. And you've got a clout-chasing sheriff who wants to send out press releases and make statements during press conferences that they thwarted a third assassination attempt. And then there's another theory out there. I think the Midas Touch guys put this out there, and I'm going to talk about it a little bit. But I think it's less likely. Certainly within the realm of possibility when we're talking about Donald Trump and the people who surround him, but less likely. Let's kind of gravitate toward the simplest explanation. So I'm going to read. Here's the other thing. There's a very strange thing in MAGA world where they are deeply invested in Donald Trump being some type of a martyr. That their movement is martyrdom, that we are the silent majority and we've been cudgeled into silence, and all of this weakness that they portray. So here's a tweet from a guy named AJ Huber, who I don't know, but this is kind of the narrative surrounding what took place. A guy was arrested. If you don't know, I guess I'll not bury the lead. A guy was arrested with weapons and fake passports and a fake license plate on his car outside the rally for Donald Trump in Coachella, California, Riverside County. And this is where we are here. Here's the tweet. Breaking news just announced. We won't cue the music, but you could just play it in your head. Wah, wah, wah. Breaking news just announced. Third Trump assassination attempt. Armed man with loaded gun outside President Trump Coachella, California rally arrested. Identified as Vem Miller. According to Sheriff Enough. According to Sheriff Enough. Protect Trump at all costs. All costs. Protect the hero, Donald Trump. So here's a press release from Riverside County on Saturday, October 12, 2024 at 4:59 p.m. Deputies assigned to former President Donald Trump's rally in Coachella Valley contacted the driver of a black SUV at a checkpoint at the intersection of blah, blah, blah. The male driver, identified as Vem Miller, a 49-year-old resident of Las Vegas, was found to be illegally in possession of a shotgun, a loaded handgun, and a high-capacity magazine. Miller was taken into custody without incident and later booked at the John J. Benoit detention center for possession of a loaded firearm and possession of a high-capacity magazine. The incident did not impact the safety of former President Trump or attendees of the event. Anyone with information on this third assassination attempt, call 760-836-1600. The Deputy Coronado at the Palm Desert Sheriff's Station. So, first of all, the sheriff of Riverside, California is a MAGA chud. He's a turd. He is a man who literally said in an endorsement video, I think it's time to put a felon in the White House. This cop, this law enforcement official, this man dedicated to this prospect of law and order, has dedicated his life to law and order. Let's put a felon back in the White House. If you haven't seen it, remember this moment from a few months ago.
And I got to be honest, I'm getting tired. And I'm wondering if I'm having a change of heart and deciding that, you know what, maybe I've been wrong. And I think I'm going to change teams. I know it's going to make some of you angry. I know that you're going to be mad at me, but I'm going to change teams. I think they're onto something, but I don't think they're doing enough. I think that we need to go big. You know me, go big or go home. You're the biggest, you do the best, you're the best at everything, and you might as well do something right if you're going to do it. And I'm all in. And I hope that you're all with me. I hope that you all have this change of heart. You all feel that this is definitely the right thing to do, and you come alongside me in this venture. And I think it's time that instead of letting them out of jail and giving them alcohol and drugs and everything else, I think it's time we put a felon in the White House. Trump 2024, baby. Let's save this country and make America great again.
So that's just icing on the cherry on top of the icing on top of the cake for you about who we're dealing with here relative to Sheriff Chad Bianco. Sweet mustache too, bro. Really leaning into the cop stereotype, dipshit. So here's the press conference where he kind of gives background on what took place and the arrest. And there's one element in here that I want you to take note of, and that's that the attempted assassin of a former president of the United States is no longer in custody.
But we have his name as Vem, V-E-M, Miller, M-I-L-L-E-R, and his birth date is 10/26 of 1974. And the reason why I gave it to you like that is I will explain later. He approached the outside perimeter, gave all indications that he belonged there, that he was that he was a participant that was allowed to get into VIP and to and a press corps, and so he was allowed through that outer perimeter. As he got to the inside perimeter, where deputies were conducting obviously a more thorough evaluation of the vehicles that were coming in, there were many irregularities that popped up. The deputy noticed that the interior of the vehicle was in quite disarray. The vehicle had an obviously fake license plate, and that prompted further investigation from our deputy into why the person was there and what he was doing. During that investigation, the deputy eventually found multiple passports with multiple names, multiple driver's license with different names. The vehicle was unregistered, and the license plate was what we in law enforcement would recognize as one that is homemade and indicative of a group of individuals that claim to be sovereign citizens. And assuming the deputy assumes that he was part of that identifying group. So during the investigation, obviously those identification documents were found, in addition to a loaded handgun and a shotgun. Obviously, this was before the former president arrived. The person was taken into custody. He was eventually booked into jail on those charges, and eventually he was released. He will have to further his court case in the future.
Yeah. The attempted assassin of a former president was released on bond, you know, like you do with assassins. Stupid. So, you know, there's probably a lot of you out there who are saying, well, but Jesse, you know, no one's really said assassination. No one's actually claimed it was an assassination attempt that was thwarted. Just the goofball on Twitter. Why are you jumping to conclusions? Well, that wasn't the whole presser. I submit to you this 30 or 45 seconds of Chad Bianco saying with his mustachioed face that they thwarted an assassination attempt.
What we do know is he showed up with multiple passports with different names, an unregistered vehicle with fake license plate, and loaded firearms. If you're asking me right now, I probably did have deputies that prevented the third assassination attempt. If we are that politically lost, that we have lost sight of common sense and reality and reason, that we can't say that, holy crap, what did he show up with all of that stuff for and loaded guns, and I'm going to be accused of being dramatic. We have a serious, serious problem in this country because this is common sense and reason. I I saw some of you there yesterday. You didn't have guns and fake IDs. I don't know how else to explain it.
So there you have it. This guy is clout chasing for more clout to try to gain clout. I prevented the third assassination. It's nonsense. There was no assassination attempt. It was another far right-wing psycho, another Republican, a guy who traffics and travels in these circles of the most radical elements of MAGA, Vem Miller. So, which leads me to the other element of this, the I think less likely, but certainly possible, and this is the Midas, we'll call it the Midas touch theory. Am I saying it right? Is it Midas or Midas? I don't know. I like those guys. They do good work. But I want to share with you Vem Miller riding in a car and in the back seat, and there's a guy in the front seat talking to him. A very brief clip of these two traveling with one another, speaking to one another. They're not unknown to one another. And then I'm going to play some disturbing a video clip from Alex Jones' show of the guy in the front seat, just to give you more context. First, these two knuckleheads talking with one another.
Vote of the 2/3 of states to be represented in the vote. At that time on January 6th, I already did the math. 43 states had at least one Republican in them. Oh, wow. So if only the Republicans voted, it would have been a 43-0 vote, still meeting the 34 state representation threshold for a quorum. Thought through this. I conveyed this to Kevin McCarthy. I conveyed this to Mike Pence's Chief of Staff, Mark Short. So then it would have been up to Mike Pence to decide, do I go with the Pelosi one person, one vote option, or which would have allowed the Biden electors, or do I go with the Kevin McCarthy vote? And if everyone votes by party, then guess what? Arizona's electors don't get counted. Multiply that by the rest of the contested states. That means no one secures 270 electoral votes. And then it goes to an overall contingent election where they again vote by state delegation. And then guess who wins? Trump it secures the re-election. When Nancy Pelosi catches wind of this plan being in motion.
And this was your plan. So you had it already. January 6th is coming up.
Yes.
And this is what's
I communicated not only directly to McCarthy. Again, the decision makers that need to put this in motion, as well as some other members of Congress.
So in a way, I'm curious.
But in addition to that, I also publicly said it on different podcasts, and when I'm being retweeted by Trump on several occasions,
they heard,
of course they heard this.
Do you think Kevin
of course
McCarthy
their staff
actually went
heard
to
this?
her? Because I know, like, we have a lot of questions about Kevin McCarthy. Do you think Kevin McCarthy went to Pelosi and said, and I know you're speculating, you know.
So that is a guy named Ivan Raichik. Raiklin, who's a Roger Stone acolyte, Mike Flynn, the disgraced former general Mike Flynn. I think he calls himself, not Mike Flynn, but this Ivan dipshit, calls himself like the Secretary of Retribution or something for Donald Trump, and talks about compiling a list of people that he's going to dispatch, whether that be permanently or taken into custody through executions. He's a nut. But he went on Alex Jones' show and they talked about the efficacy of assassinating Donald Trump. And they actually don't just talk about it from a 30,000 foot level, but actually why it would be actually good for the movement if Donald Trump dies. And then you are smart enough to put together that if the guy who's now being accused of attempting to assassinate Donald Trump is hanging out with the guy who thinks it's a great idea if Donald Trump was to, for the country, if Donald Trump was to be assassinated, and not because he doesn't like Donald Trump, but the movement and what the movement could accomplish, it does, it smacks of concerning, does it not? Watch this.
And this is a message directly to every single person on the deep state target list. My assessment, Ivan Raiklin's assessment, that if you assassinate any political presidential candidate, whether it's RFK, whether it's Trump, guess what? America will do the following immediately. They will respond in kind, and they know who you are because we've created the list. So if you go
And that's
to
a
those
major
measures
Rubicon. They should know that.
immediately, you're going to see immediately response. And there are only a few buildings in Washington, D.C. that they will probably do that.
Well, I hope that's not the case, but these people are crazy.
And having said that, if they do that, option 2 behind Trump is going to be so much better for us and so much worse.
Well, I was about
for
to
them.
say, if they kill him, that's best case scenario from a sick level. From a sick level beating him, oh, please kill him, which but it's so good after that.
Oh, it's going to be the best cleansing and the fastest cleansing that we've ever seen in my lifetime. I assess with almost certainty, with the highest level of confidence, that if they assassinate Trump, it is so game over for them, and it's going to be so fast.
It's so good after that. If you kill him, oh, please do it. It's so good after that, they say. So look, it wasn't an assassination attempt. It was a guy with guns. Like, how many Magga turds show up to rallies and places like airports that they're not supposed to have guns at? How often do they show up with guns? How many guns are confiscated from dipshits like Madison Cawthorn multiple times bringing live ammo and guns into airport security? These people, that's just what they do. It's like having a pocket full of change oftentimes. So I don't think it was an assassination attempt. I think that the larger story here is that MAGA world is so desperate for Trump to be painted as a martyr, as some kind of a victim, as he's standing in the way of the deep state, because if they're not going to attack the citizenry, they're going to attack Donald Trump because he's in the way, or whatever nonsense. This other thing's certainly a possibility. I just think it's more far afield. But I would invite you to give me your input. What do you think? You can comment below. That would be fantastic. You can also leave me a voicemail, 714-576-4054. And of course, as always, you can email me, daily@dollemore.com. Do me a favor. Do your old pal Jesse D a favor and subscribe. If you're not subscribed, make sure you're subscribed. If my content just gets delivered to you all the time and you think you're subscribed, pull the trigger. We shouldn't use that metaphor. Make it official. Subscribe. I'm almost to 800,000. I know we could get it done today if you were to subscribe. In fact, I think I'll start all my videos by talking about that. If you want to help support the work, you can click the join button below, become a channel member for $2 a month, or go to my Patreon page, patreon.com/IDoubtItPodcast. Follow me on the social media. I am at Dollemore. And stick around for a word from today's sponsor, Beams Dream. I am lucky that many things come easy to me. My work ethic, my cooking acumen, these winsome features. But I have long struggled with one thing: sleep. Some nights I'm up and then down and then up again. Some nights I get a couple hours and then I'm just up and running for the day. I don't need to tell you, if you struggle with sleep too, that sleep is everything. The quality of your sleep affects both your mind and your body. Your focus, your energy, and your mood, they all depend upon good sleep. If quality sleep is a challenge for you, repeat after me: Beams Dream Powder. Dream is an all-natural cocoa formulated to ease your body into rest by supporting all 4 stages of the sleep cycle. Dream will help you fall asleep faster and stay asleep longer. Dream has been a game changer for me and my sleep. My listeners get a special discount on Beams Dream Powder. They're science-backed, healthy hot cocoa for sleep with no added sugar. Better sleep has never tasted better. Get up to 40% off now at shopbeam.com/Dollemore and use code Dollemore at checkout. Other sleep aids can cause next-day grogginess, but Dream contains a powerful, all-natural blend of reishi, magnesium, L-theanine, epigenin, and melatonin to help you fall asleep, stay asleep, and wake up refreshed. Not only is Dream all-natural, but all flavors are delicious too. I treat myself to the brownie batter, but you can opt for the sea salt caramel, vanilla chai, or the OG cinnamon cocoa. Who knew Quality sleep could taste good too. Make Dream an easy add to your evening routine. Before bed, just mix Dream into hot boiling water or milk, froth, and enjoy. If you want to try Beam's best-selling Dream Powder, get up to 40% off for a limited time when you go to shopbeam.com/Dollemore and use code Dollemore at checkout. That's shopbeam.com/Dollemore and use code Dollemore for up to 40% off. Beam will help you get that dream.